Good afternoon and welcome to the Fiscal Philosophy YouTube channel. It was so over today, was it not? Well, except for a few select choices like Google, for example, which it wasn't up big, but it looks like it eked out a slight win. And as such, I decided to take a slightly above 100% gain on a Leaps contract just to deleverage a bit, take some leverage and some risk off the table, and also just to maybe free up a little bit of dry powder, as it were, just in case there's some more volatility ahead. Perhaps that creates a screaming opportunity elsewhere. I think Google, while still not super overpriced, is probably roughly in the fair range. You could argue, hey, maybe it's worth 260, maybe it's worth 270, but certainly I don't think it's worth necessarily like 500 today. So happy to take those options off the table. Ask that a little bit with something like PayPal, or if you want to call it PayPal, which has been it's again been tough to stomach this lately. And I was early on this, right? I first got involved in this stock in late 2023, so I'm coming up on 2 years in this stock, and it's barely moved 10% total in that time. Now, there was a run to 90 at one point earlier this year, but then it bled right back down into the mid to upper 60s, where it's kind of languished. It's broken 70 a handful of times since then, but we do have near-term catalysts on this. Q3 and Q4 are supposed to show us what they can do vis-a-vis Braintree, and that's supposed to be big. And they've got a lot of other initiatives with their ad business, etc., that could spark some interest in this seemingly dead money name. Again, it's been in consolidation mode for what seems like ever, and it's going to eventually, hopefully, break in one certain direction once the market decides it catches on. We are seeing it get more attention from prominent financial Twitter accounts, one of which is the technical analysis X account Heisenberg, who I do follow, and I like to see what he thinks about the charts of different companies that I'm in, mainly just because a main criticism I have of my own investing is a lot of times my timing could have been better if maybe I knew a little bit more about charts. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's anything magic about reading charts. It's sort of recognizing familiar patterns and how the hive mind collective that we know as the market tends to behave in certain circumstances when certain indicators are set up a certain way. I don't think it's absolute. It's sort of like how card counters at the casino don't win every hand. It just slightly improves their odds. And of course, there is some narrative around the stock where it's mostly, say, a buyback story. And you do need to, consider the buyback. I certainly like the buyback, especially while the stock is cheap. But wait, what makes the stock cheap on a forward basis is what we think they will do in terms of future cash flow. Remember, it's the present value of the future cash flow that we're trying to determine. The market is how we sort of reach that price discovery. Right now, the market doesn't think that the forward cash flow is too impressive, or at least that's what they're telling us with the price. But if Braintree reaccelerates, if their ad business starts to take off, if they continue executing on Venmo, if PayPal World starts to become a thing, there's a lot of factors at play that could spell better future free cash flows for the business. It's actually that future cash flow growth that's really going to make these share repurchases at current levels super accretive, right? They're taking as many as 10% of the shares outstanding out of circulation on a per annum basis at current prices with their current buyback program. And if you add actual real growth in the whole business overall, revenue and profit on top of that share count reduction, it's going to create a quality compounder. Ha ha ha. Earnings are coming soon, and we will see then who's right about what. Hopefully, Q3 will show what we're hoping it'll show, and Q4 even more of the same. If the stock does re-rate, I do think we could see 100 and even beyond. However, I think the calls for a $300 target in whatever amount of time are a bit excessive and overstated. But again, the proof will be in the pudding. Will earnings vindicate us, or will they be lackluster? And what will the price do in response? These are the open questions. I personally am putting in a vote of confidence with Alex Chris. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. And be sure to check out my Discord, linked in the description. Help me out with all the algo stuff, like and subscribe, help me grow the channel. My Discord is free, that I mentioned before. Also, you can catch me every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Cashflow Kings live YouTube channel. We are at some point going to try to throw together a PayPal roundtable with some other well-informed investors and try to discuss all of the points on this stock. Take it easy, everyone. Have a wonderful day.